Hey, good morning. I see everybody's coming on in to our scope today. Glad to have you on. Glad to have you on, Terrell. Glad to have you. Thank you for the hearts already. Good to see the hearts. Those hearts just say, God, I thank you for another day. I appreciate it. If anybody has a thank you for another day, go ahead and toss it up there. Sister Sheila, Brother Kenneth, Brother Garnett, good to have you on. Hey, Rube, what's going on, man? Glad to have you on. Come on in. Good morning, Stacy. Come on into the scope. Hey, I'm Val. Yes, I know that's right. Never take a day for granted. Never take an opportunity for granted. So hearts just to say thank you for a day. Good morning, Deacon Jones. Hey, Lolita, good morning. Hope you're having a great weekend, getting started. Sister Venus, good morning. There was somebody I just missed over right before Miss Venus. Sister Cynthia, good morning. Sister Phyllis. Brother Pope, good morning to you. Hey, Mel, good morning. Glad to have everybody on. Deacon Doe, good morning. Katrina, hey. Hey, Sister Cynthia, good morning to you. We're still waiting for a few more people to come in. Anybody got a praise report real quick? Anything good happening you want to toss out there? Rob, hey, man. Glad to have you on, Rob. Rob, we're going to have to do something about that cowboy icon you have by your name. It's distracting. Every time it come up, just throw me off. We got to do something about that. Please. I'm gonna sing some Philadelphia gear, some Philly icons. Good morning. Okay, all right. All of the Cowboys fans. Yeah. Hey, team, good morning. Glad to have you back, too. Rough morning. Look, don't worry about it. Matter of fact, maybe today's scope will help out because we are still in Acts 27. And we're almost at the end of it. There you go, Philly. Listen, we're almost at the end of the scope. And the very last verse is what we focus on tomorrow. Matter of fact, I have a surprise for you tomorrow. Still have to do some tweaking to it today. But there's something I definitely want to kind of broadcast to our Periscope family first. And I'll do that tomorrow morning. So please tune back in, invite family, invite friends to come on. But listen, today we're again in Acts 27. And it's a combination between the latter verses and somewhere in the middle around verses, I think 15, 14, 13, something like that. So praise report, graduated 3.6. Congratulations, Sister Venus. 3.6 on that graduation. Greater things are ahead. So listen, Paul's here, and we know he's on this ship, right? They sailed into a storm. Remember, the storm was so bad, and the wind so harsh, the waves battering so fiercely, that they actually start tying ropes around the ship, trying to keep it together. Here's where we are. The ship now sails, is headed towards land, although they cannot see it because it's still dark. At daybreak, they still can't see land. They hit a sand barge right before they get to land. Okay? So now the ship has run aground. It crashed. When the ship crashes, the ship is still intact. What causes the ship to break, here are our major 2 points today. What causes the ship to break is that they're in the same place, stuck for too long, and a combination of being stuck and the waves beating and battering against the side of the ship caused the ship to break. One, ship breaks because they're in the same space. While the ship is falling apart, they have to now decide how they're going to make it to land. They can finally see it. As the sun starts to rise, the birds are starting to chirp because they're closer to land now. They can hear the water brush up across the beach. It's blurry. It's almost a haze, but they can see the coast with a few trees and a couple of buildings. They're close, but not quite there, and they have to figure out how they're going to get there. Here's what they're commanded. Everyone who can swim, jump out, start swimming towards shore. Those who cannot swim, grab onto a board. Everybody else, jump on and just get a piece of the broken ship. And then in the last verse of Acts 27, it says, and everyone made it to shore safely. Here are teaching points. Today, realize that in the restoration process, in the rescue process, things at the end are not always as they were in the beginning. Look, have you ever been in a ship, right? Relationship, fellowship, discipleship, leadership, and whatever ship you're in, and it just didn't work the way you planned it? Anybody ever had plans that just didn't go the way you drew them? The blueprint wasn't exactly, the building wasn't exactly like the blueprint, or the song wasn't exactly how you wrote it. Life just wasn't the way you thought it would be. Marriage, children, job, right? And you put a lot of work into it. You put hours into it. You put effort into it. You did all of the training. You gave as much love and advice as you could, only to still see your hard worked on, built, developed, designed ship break. Look, if you've ever been there, here are a couple things you want to know. If your ship is breaking, it may be because things have become stagnant, because there's no movement, there's no change, there's no fluidity. Remember, we talked about it earlier this week, and it's probably the motif for the week, that things must change. Things that are not in constant movement eventually die. Things that don't grow cease to exist. Water that does not have some movement in it eventually creates some stagnation, and in that stagnation you get mold, and dead things thrive in dead places. Make sure that your ship is still moving. While the ship was moving, even though it was tied up, it was still able to stay together. It was when it hit the sandbars and was still that it began to fall apart. It began to splinter. It began to tear. It began not to sink. You got to get it. It's not sinking. It's not going low. It's not going down. It's just falling apart. Disconnection. And it will happen to you and I if we don't keep moving, changing, evolving. 1. 2, here's the biggest part as we go into the weekend. At the end, things are not going to look the way they did in the beginning. After things have broken, fractured, or shattered, no matter what you do to put them together, please do not raise the expectations such that you want it to be exactly how it was in the beginning. Listen, parents, once your children grow up and leave the house for whatever reason, because of job or career or college, military, when they come back, I know they're your kids, but they are not the same kids. And you can't treat them the same way you treated them before they left. It's different. Relationships, it's a little difficult, but look, relationship after infidelity is not the same as relationship pre-infidelity. Now, here's the key. It can be good, but it's new. It can be great, but it's new. You can't treat the person the same way after someone has lied to you, or after you felt some type of deceit or some backstabbing, or something has now broken your trust. Look, this new relationship you're building, this new fellowship that you're delving deep into, it can be good. You know, the last verse, they all made it to the other side, but it's not the same. And sometimes we create false expectations that when we are restored, when we regain, when we get it back, when he or she comes back, when we go back to the job, when we get the thing again, that it's going to be like it was. I don't want to disappoint you, but old things are passed away. Here's the good news. But behold, there is something new that's springing forth. And what happened for them on the ship, watch, the ship breaks, but they still survive. The boards are splintered, but they are still blessed. They watched the boat literally break into pieces. And if I had time and in a whole different scope, I would say sometimes in life, you got to learn how to make it over in pieces. When you don't make it over whole, when you don't have it all together, you got to learn how to take the pieces you do have, focus on what you can do, focus on where you are, not where you aren't, not what you're missing, not what's not there. And if you can focus on that, you can still get to shore safely. I'm not sure, what today does for you, but for me, it reminds me that when God rescues us, when God delivers us, he's taken us to a new place. And just because the new place on shore does not provide for us a scenic ship that's all together, it does not mean that where you are is not going to be good for you. Hey, it's not going to be the same, but it's going to be good. It's not going to be like it was. It can be better. It's not always going to feel the same, but the new feeling, not as a replacement, it's just a new thing. And when we learn to embrace the new, we can discover that when God rescues us, our reality is actually greater than our past. Today, don't stand still. Look for ways to evolve. Look to ways to be better. Look for ways to enhance. But then more importantly, when you look at the things in life that you work so hard to keep together, still falling apart, do not allow things breaking in your life to break you. Do not let the ship that's falling apart cause you to fall apart. Everything around you can be destroyed, shattered, and almost seemingly exist as nothing. But you can still have your value. And today, I want to remind you that you made it. Through all of those hardships that broke you, all of those difficulties you didn't think you were going to get through, somehow, even when they fell apart, you held it together. That's because God's on your side, all sides, your left side, right side, on the outside, and most importantly, He's on the inside. And as we go today, make sure you know that God is rescuing you from hardships, and the rescue is going to bring for you a greater reality. You guys have a great day. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow morning. Again, got a quick surprise, something that I'm definitely looking forward to, and I'd love to have you on tomorrow. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the morning.